Aloha. Welcome to another tutorial video for CIS 101 at Brigham Young University, Hawaii. In this tutorial, we're going to try to apply some of the skills we've been learning so far, which has been using basic print output statements and processing input from the user. And we're going to do this by constructing what's called a Madlib. Now, a Madlib is simply a story that first asks the user for common things, say name a noun, name an animal, name a piece of music, without telling the user what the context is those words are going to be used in. And then it uses those to construct a story. So it's a simple exercise in prompting the user for certain inputs, then using those to develop a more complicated story. So let's take a look and see how this is done. Alright, so here is our text editor. Like I said, the first thing you want to do is visit eduplace.com/tails and select a Madlib tail. So we'll do that now. Here's eduplace.com, and I'm going to pick All in a Dream because it's the first one. And you'll see it asks for, it says fill in the blanks. Place, adjective, verb ending with ing, famous person, friend, present tense verb, room, and musical instrument. And for any of these, you can click on and add them. So a place is somewhere like GCB 111. Okay, adjective could be hard. Verb ending in ing, walking. Famous person, we could say Taylor Swift. Friend, and you might say Brother Curtis. Present tense verb. Laugh. Room, so that's kind of room is, we might put GCB 111 here. Put this Laie, and then musical instrument, trombone. And then you click See Your Wacky Web Tail. Then it says, I fell asleep yesterday listening to an old album that my mom had. I really enjoyed it, though I had a weird dream. It was kind of like one of the old songs. I've been working in Laie all the hard day. I've been working in Laie just to pass the time away. Don't you hear the whistle walking, rising up so early in the morn? Don't you hear Taylor Swift shouting, Brother Curtis, laugh your horn? And it says, Brother Curtis, won't you laugh? Brother Curtis, won't you laugh? Brother Curtis, won't you laugh your horn? And it goes on. Someone's in the GCB 111 with Brother Curtis. Someone's in the GCB 111, I know. Someone's in the GCB 111 with Brother Curtis, strumming on the old trombone. So this, if you don't recognize it, is a adaptation of a folk song in the United States called I've Been Working on the Railroad, but it's been adapted based on the input you've done. So any of these will work. You can get an odd animal, and it has more things. If you need help, simply click on parts of speech help, and that'll tell you what nouns, adjectives, verbs, adverbs, and exclamations are. And so you can kind of go through there. And so your job is going to be to construct one of these. Okay, so pick one that you like. You can kind of read through some of these and then practice using your Perl programming skills to. Now that we've introduced what Madlibs are, let's start translating one into our Perl program. So we'll select this All in a Dream. We have place, adjective, verb ending with ing, famous person. So I'm going to just select and copy this text over into my text editor. I have All in a Dream. And I'm actually going to, I'll comment this out. I may reuse that phrase in a moment. And I notice I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things that I have to prompt my user for. So each of these is going to involve some sort of print statement And make sure we end our print statements with semicolons. And keep them in quotes. Okay, print. Okay, so I paused it for a second while I added a few more of these print statements. Here you see these are all of my print statements. I'm going to prompt the user. Now, if I ran the program just like this, all I'd have is a series of these statements, one followed right after the other. They wouldn't even appear on a different line. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask for some user input. Okay? So I can say $place equals stdin. And then I can say $adjective equals stdin. And I can say $ingverb equals stdin. And $famous equals stdin. $friend equals stdin. $verb equals stdin. And once again, these names can be just about anything you want. Names should not begin with numbers, but you can use combinations of letters and numbers, words, things like that. Room equals stdin. And lastly, instrument equals stdin. Okay. So we'll save that. Now if I were to run it at this point, it would ask for these things and store the variables, but it wouldn't print anything out. So now I need to bring in the printed message and use that. So, but before I do that, I need to do some chomping. And I can say chomp place and continue on through the rest of these. Okay, so now once we've added all of these chomp statements, we can save our program. And now we need to go back to the website and we can click See Your Wacky Webtail and take this text here and use it as our framework for the next step. Okay. Pasted in the text of the output, we can start some more print statements. So I will print all in a dream. And what I'm going to do is, to keep things simple, I'm going to keep all of this. I could do a lot of new lines, but I think it's going to be easier if I just put all of this in a single string. So I'm going to put quotes right at the very end of this statement. Okay, and then it will recognize my new lines here. Okay, so now the trick is going to be figuring out what variables go in the statement here. So you'll remember we had place, adjective, ing, and it kind of works in the same place. So I've been working in place all the adjective day, and you may want to put all of your entries in here, so you can kind of say, actually this is probably adjective, ing verb, and then famous person, we'll call this famous, I think I called it friend, verb, room, instrument. So you put your variable names in here, and then, that's right, then we take this, and I copy this in, and now you'll see all of these with the variable names. If I wanted to be really creative, what I could do is I could just put $signs in here already and make sure they match my variable names. Okay, so if I do that, and then I can simply take all of this and I'm going to replace what I have typed and I'll just put quotes and have all of that. Okay, so now all of my verbs and rooms and things are there. So I'll save this as madlib.pl. Go back to my terminal and I'm going to say Perl madlib.pl. Place la-ea, adjective, long, verb ending in ing, shouting, famous person, President Obama, friend, tonu, present tense verb, run, room, kitchen, musical instrument, drum. And then you'll see, here it goes. I've been working in la-ea all the live long day. I've been working in la-ea just to pass the time away. Don't you hear the whistle shouting, rise up so early in the morn? Don't you hear President Obama shouting, tonu, run your horn? Tonu, won't you run? Tonu, won't you run? Tonu, won't you run your horn? And it goes on from there. Okay, it was the weirdest dream I've had in a long time. I'd probably put one extra blank line right at the end so it doesn't back into the command prompt, and that should be it. So that's how you create a Madlib. Now you should create your own, and this will give you practice working on over and over again, print, read in, standard input into some variable, and using chomp to trim those variables down. That's it. Hope you enjoy constructing your own Madlib. Happy coding.